There was a little event that happened to me today, but I think I'll save that for the end since I have some intention of saying something beforehand, talking about searching for approval. That's going to be the main bulk of this video. And then, oh damn, I forgot to remove that. Let me just remove that. All right, much better. So, I just realized there was another thing that I wanted to talk about, but that will be in another video. I think I already mentioned I got these fragrance samples and I want to do a tier list on them. Maybe I didn't mention. I've been talking a lot about it with all my friends, so I can't remember if I mentioned it in the vlog, in a vlog. Got these fragrance samples, 17 fragrance samples. Super excited to try them out. I tried out 2 today. I'm gonna do 2 at a time every day, just so I don't get overwhelmed and I get an appreciation for it as it dries down, just a really detailed experience of it. And I have 17, but there are currently 10 summer fragrances. No, sorry, 10 winter fragrances. And those are the ones that I'm going to be trying currently. And then the summer fragrances I'll try maybe honestly later in the year. And then finally, I'll make a tier list once I've tried all of them. And I want to try them both on my skin and on cardstock. That way I can tell the actual smell and the smell, how it smells on me, which would be more subjective, I should say. But the cardstock should be slightly more objective, although it's not intentional to wear it on cards, right? That's not the intention of perfumes. Regardless. Really excited to do the tier list. I kind of have it set up with all the images, and that'll be a really fun video, but that's going to be much later down the line once I've really experienced all these fragrances and I can actually give a comprehensive overview and rating on each one. Although I could do one once I've tried each one, just a really shallow review, and then I could do a more detailed, fully nuanced review afterwards. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. I was talking about searching for approval. Right, yeah. And then the little event that happened. So, searching for approval, I feel a lot of people, it seems to me that everyone's drive is just for approval of something. I said originally that the whole point anybody does anything is for mating. And if you consider mating a system of approval, a method of approval, then it doesn't contradict each other. I still believe that. I still believe a lot of what we do is influenced by mating. And I don't think you can really give an example of something that isn't. Everything that we've considered like healthy is being good, but that's because it's good to mate and being, you want to be healthy to mate. Maybe you could argue that. But going off of, if you're healthier, then you're more likely to mate. It just makes sense. It's just rational. So now searching for approval. I mean, when you look at mating, you're looking at the very fundamental blocks of how humans operate. But now when you look at searching for approval, you're looking a step up above, almost abstracting that, making it more specific, more applicable. What I mean by that is you can look at all these mating ideas and they seem so abstract. Like, for example, we'll say women prefer someone who's taller, or somebody who is more physically fit. No, sorry. Women prefer someone, a gatherer, a hunter gatherer, someone who's very adept in hunting and gathering. But you say that originally, and it's like, what does that mean? Obviously, what it meant back then, like you can abstract it to now and understand it, but you have to abstract it in the first place. You have to decipher it, what it really means. I don't know if that really explained it well, but I'll go on with my thought of searching for approval. You can directly see, you can easily see, does this provide approval for me? Will this give me approval from external sources or not? It's very simple. But the other way of looking at, is this evolutionarily advantageous to me? It's much harder to gauge whether that's true or false. But I should say, little caveat, you shouldn't be searching for approval externally, obviously. The first thing that comes to mind is happiness. A lot of people search for happiness externally. They want validation. I wrote something here. I wrote, call me a Bitcoin node the way I be needing validation. Yeah, that was all me. That was all me. I'm proud of that. Anyways, that's what we want in love. When we love someone, we want their validation. I mean romantically, but now that I think about it, when you're in a family and you love someone, you don't necessarily want their validation. You want what's best for them. That's true love. But it really hurts if they don't give you any validation and it breaks you. Like all of these mental issues that you get as a result of somebody not accepting it, not validating you, not approving you. And I had my friend on the podcast once, and he said one of the most satisfying things he's experienced is being his parents being proud of him, verbally verbally explaining that, displaying that, expressing that. Like how that's one of the most satisfying things to say that. And he's my age too, so he's experienced quite a bit. That says a lot. That says volumes, if you will. And that's why you get this massive fear of rejection. Getting rejection, getting rejected, sorry. It's so devastating because it's saying, I don't want your genes to propagate. I don't think you are worthy of having your genes propagated. And nobody wants to hear that. Everyone wants to have value. What's the point of your life if you don't have any value? But it's also motivation. I mean, that's why you get these gym obsessions right after a breakup. It's like, I lost this validation, I lost this approval. And in order to get it back, the easiest thing that I can think of to get it back is to become more fit for both men and women. So men to be stronger, to be more capable, and women to be more what's the word? It's not fertile. There's a word that means what I want it to mean when I say fertile. So I'll just quickly find it right here, but fecund. Fecund, which basically means high potential to reproduce. High potential. While fertile means able to, is currently reproducing. Like no, the quickness of reproducing, of Yeah, the quickness of reproducing, if that makes any sense. So, for example, women have 9 months where they can't be pregnant anymore. If they're pregnant, they can't be pregnant. So you wouldn't say that's too fertile compared to, for example, if it was 1 month or 1 week, for example, like to give an extreme example, where that would be very fertile. That's my understanding of it. So fecund is what I really mean, where it's potential to reproduce, where I don't need, I just need very few sperm, and from that I'll reproduce. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, just search it up. Google will probably do a better way of explaining what I mean to say. Yeah, okay. And the book that I'm reading right now, How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. It's just a fiction book. Doesn't have much to do about this, what I'm talking about, but maybe a little. But it's just about some guy who can live for a very long time and this secret society that he's a part of where they all live really long, absurdly long, and his challenges. So in the book, it said, once you're rich, there was a wise man in the book who's really old. We'll say more than a century. Way more than a century. Like 5 centuries old. More than 5 centuries. We'll say 8 centuries. So 800 years plus. Once you're rich and your children are set, we create our legacy. So I kind of paraphrased the exact quote, but it was something along those lines. And you look at, they were talking about not Rockefeller, but Dale Carnegie, which was somebody incredibly rich, similar to Rockefeller, similar richness to Rockefeller. If not more, I think Rockefeller was one of the most, if not the most in America. Something like, oh, it doesn't matter. Crazy rich. And so what he does is, you look at what rich people do, and it's like even Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, or the Gates Foundation. They're donating to charity. They're not trying to make even more money. Why not? Well, what's the point of making even more money? You have enough money. Your children have enough money. There's just no point. But you can make a name for yourself, and that's how you live on. That's how you live past your actual death. People will remember you. And then I just briefly had the thought, when I read that originally in the book, I briefly had the thought, yeah, but what's the point of that? And that's, like, you can always say that. And that kind of leads to a depressive spiral. And the way I don't get in that depressive spiral is just to not think about it, which might be a problem if I do end up seriously considering it, why I'm living, why am I doing all these things? But at some points, I don't think there's some things that you shouldn't overthink. I mean, the start of the Big Bang, the start of the universe is one, where it's like, whoa, like I remember this blowing my mind when I was less than 5 years old, 4 years old. I would think, wait, so okay, there was a Big Bang. Okay, but what happened before that? Whoa, what happened before that? Like, there was nothing. There was actually nothing. And I was talking with some guy about this, and he's like, well, actually, we don't know. Now we do know. There was nothing. Surely there was, it's not like there was something, because if there was something, that wouldn't have been the start. Like, it's so mind-boggling to me. And you, okay, you could say the start initially had something, but that doesn't make sense either. So no matter which way you go, you just can't rationalize it. That's one of the biggest arguments that I find for God. And what my friend says, or what Will said to debunk this, was Yes, but I can just say the universe was God. Well, the universe is what was original. So when you say God is what was first before everything, I can just say, well, what was before God? What created God? As I've said before, it's just not, to me, it doesn't seem satisfying because you can't, God is by definition God, so he doesn't need a creator, but the universe does. But you can, as his argument would be, you can define the universe as God and say the universe doesn't need a creator, and then everything else makes sense and it's all good. It's like, I don't believe that. And of course, there's always there's a reason there's still atheists. People and there's a reason there's a bunch of different religions. No matter how obvious things are, and things are not obvious at all, people will always be skeptical, will believe different things. Okay, so going back to searching for approval, even fragrances, a lot of people wear fragrances just for compliments. I see so many Reddit posts where it's like, what's the fragrance with the most compliments? It's like, sure, you could wear fragrances for compliments, but that's part of why I wear it. But a big part is because I enjoy it. I love fragrances. It's such a big thing to me, and I love smelling like this, or I love smelling it. I walked past this lady, this girl, this lady, university student age, I'm guessing, and I smelled grapefruit, and it smelled so good. I should have asked what she was wearing, but it took a few seconds for me to smell it, and then she was already in the store as we were walking outside. She was already in the store, so I can run over and ask her, but it was a really good fragrance. And it would have been a good conversation starter too. Not that I wanted to start a conversation with her, but recently I've been starting conversations with random people, and it's boosted my mood a lot. Yesterday really I was in a really bad mood, and then all of a sudden so I went to the library. I usually go to the library before my quiz at 6, so I go to the library at 4. And I was just feeling awful, like so sad and so distraught. I don't know how to put it. Maybe depressed is the right word, but not exactly depressed. More just okay. We'll say mildly depressed. And then I was about to go. I was checking my phone to see when the bus comes to campus so that I can go back home because I usually never go back home just because it's such an inconvenience. But I was like, listen, I need to go back home. I'm just so out of it. I like this. I'm hating this. I'm hating every second. And it just feels awful. I need to do something. And then I remembered, oh wait, I have a frisbee in my bag. Okay, the bus is coming in like 8 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. I have a frisbee in my bag though. I should ask the person in front of me if he wants to play frisbee. So, and I looked at the person in front of me and he had so he had headphones on and he had one ear cup off. I was like, oh, I wonder why. So I talked to him, hey, you look busy. And then we talked a bit and I said, I have a frisbee in my bag. You want to play frisbee right now? And that was against my principle of following the idea of being more masculine, where being more assertive, where I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to go play frisbee in a bit. I'm going to go play frisbee right now. Did you want to join me? And I think that would have worked all the same, resulted in the same conclusion. But regardless, I continue with this. Did you want to play frisbee right now? And he said, oh, well, uh, give me 30 minutes. But he did seem, I exaggerate that pause because he did seem interested. He wanted to play frisbee, but He was just, I'm just stuck right now in this work, but in 30 minutes we'll play frisbee. Said something like that. Okay, sure. So I had some work to do. So that gave me enough of a positive energy to continue on, continue working for a little bit. And then I got to play frisbee and I got to meet a cool guy. And yeah, I got his contact after so we can talk even more. And he was talking about, we talked so much. We talked so much that after we finished frisbee, I only had 20 minutes to study for my quiz. Considering that I came there at 4 and I needed to leave there at 6 or a little before 6. It was a lot of fun, to say the least. Already at 21 minutes. Okay, so yeah, okay. This is also why people are afraid of being away from the norm. So they don't want to be rejected by society. But at the same time, this is also why people go away from the norm. They seek validation in niches. I'm valid. I'm valuable. Not even valid. I'm more valuable. I'm special because I'm different. I'm in a different niche. But I can't be too different. The thing is, you can't be so different that nobody is similar to you, because then you have no validation whatsoever. I think this is a big part of this is going to be controversial, of course, the LGBT community, where people, they don't have any validation. They don't feel special at all. And then once they're in the LGBT, people celebrate them like they never did their entire lives. They never got that validation. And now that they're special, now that they're different from everyone else, they're in this niche group. They can bond together. They can hoard. They can, what's the word? Sheep? They can join forces. They're in their in-group. That's what it is. That's what I was thinking. And now they're part of something bigger too. But I don't think that's necessarily healthy, because you lead into issues where it's like, this isn't really who you actually are, though. You think it is because you're getting all this positive affirmation, but really dig deep down and understand that this is something that you're just seeking validation from other people. It's not really you. That's a bit sad for me, but people can choose to do what they wish. Yeah, oh right, okay. That was it for the little searching for approval bit. But the main event, or the side event that happened, the little event that happened today, I was in the gym with my friend, and we were doing leg curls. That's unimportant. And there were these 2 girls beside us doing the exercise to the right of us. Just the sus machine, right? And you already know, just from me saying the sus machine, what machine it is. Anyways, they were doing that, and I was waiting. Okay, so there was this one attractive, like really attractive girl that I wanted to talk with. The dark hair, brown. I don't know if it was really brown hair, but we'll call her a brunette. So I wanted to talk with the brunette, and there was a blonde. The blonde was attractive, but it was weird. She seemed too serious. She seemed like I wouldn't get along with her. Anyways, like brunette. So I was doing the leg exercise, but she was waiting for a friend to do. They were supersetting together, and I was supersetting with my friend. So when I was resting, the brunette was exercising. So I was thinking, okay, if we get a time where we're both resting, me and the brunette are resting, I have to talk with her. Like, I have to. And I was thinking, like, okay, what can I talk with? Okay. Well, I was thinking about what if I do this. I don't know if I should dox my teacher, but I have this prof who's very. The rate my prof on this prof is one. Literally one. 40 people have voted one on this prof. And there's been no other ratings of reviews. It's all just been one. 100% one. A perfect score. A perfect worst score. So I thought, okay, that would be interesting to talk about. So I didn't think twice. I showed it to my friend. He literally sent me the image. So he already knew it and he was confused why I showed it to him. But I just wanted to like be less awkward. Like, oh, hey, I'm not just showing you randomly. I showed my friend and I was like, oh, that's funny. And then so now I have to show her, right? Okay, so I walked over to her and then I said, hey, want to see something funny? And then I showed her the picture. And then she was like, and she made a face and she indulged in me. And then I said, yeah, that's my prof. And I was really energetic because I was working out, so I had my blood pumping and like adrenaline basically. And then oh man, so I kept on talking and then her friend finished. Okay. No matter what, it's going to be embarrassing for me telling stories of like asking girls out, but this wasn't actually bad. Even though I'm reacting like it's bad, it wasn't bad. Friend finishes her set, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I actually have to include her friend because she's being excluded, and I want her to validate me. That way, the brunette can be okay with me, if that makes any sense. You need the friend's approval as well, just for there to be no conflict. But I didn't want to. I also don't want to be hitting on the friend. Anyways, I'll have to think about that more on how I should properly execute. Anyways, so she finished the blonde finished her exercise, and I showed it to her as well because she was a little confused that I came up to her friend, like not knowing her at all. And then yeah, this is my prof. Look at this, 40 reviews, 41. And yeah, I couldn't think of anything else to talk about. I just kept on talking about that. I was like, yeah, this is for math. And then she asked me what's what program I'm in. And I'm like, yeah, this is I'm in computer science. She's like, oh, I'm in. No, wait, no, that's not what it was. I asked her, hey, did you have a prof like did you have a prof like this? Or no, she said something like, yeah, that sounds pretty bad. I said, yeah, fake Russian accent. That's all. And then she was like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It was like, but she kept on. I'm explaining this terribly, but because I'm passionate about it, but she she continued the conversation. She didn't just say yeah, and then just like stop there and let me continue conversation. She indulged and she said, yeah, that sounds awful. That's very strange. What course is it for? And then I continue, and then again, so it's more of a conversation. It's not just me spitting at her. And so she yeah, she starts exercising. My friend wipes down the seat and I'm like, "What? No, I wanted to keep on first exercising and second keep on talking with her." So then oh my goodness. This is what I'm kind of annoyed about and what embarrasses me. I say, "Yeah, have you had anything like this?" And she sits down and is going to start exercising and I continue talking with her. I kind of forget what I say. And then at some point, I just run out of things to say without repeating literally what I've already repeated before because I just couldn't think of things to say, man. So then I lie down on the leg curl. I realize my friend is nowhere there, and I'm like, wait, what happened? He cleaned it, and I was like, oh, right, okay. So he's over there in the leg press machine 20 meters away from these girls. And now, so I I talk with them. Yeah, no, I just do my exercise. I don't even talk. No, wait, what was it? Yeah, she says something like, "Well, good luck." Oh no, 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 no. I finished my exercise and then she says, "Well, good luck. Good luck in that course." I was like, "Yeah, thanks. I'll need it." And that was it. And then I wiped down my machine and then she wiped down her machine. And then as I was getting my water bottle and leaving, I noticed that she just stayed there. Both of them just stayed there, right by the machine, like thinking of what to do. Now, it's very possible they were just literally thinking of what they should do, but I think it was more that she wanted to see if I would go over again. And I think it's actually good that I didn't go over because there was no way of me going over without seeming desperate, without being like, hey, I need to be beside you. So it's good that I didn't go over, I believe. That's my cope? No. I believe it to be true. And yeah, I met up with my friend again, just continued the workout and everything. And the reason, so I said to my friend that I fumbled. I kind of fumbled. He said, no, you didn't. You didn't fumble. Not at all. But I did partially. And the way that I did, there were two things. So man, when I was talking with her, my leg was bouncing and I could not control it. It was so hard to control. And I had one foot planted and I decided to lean on the other for some reason. For some reason, when I ask out girls, I do this. I lean on one side and let the other be loose. Maybe I just naturally do that anyways, but I did that there and it just kept on bouncing. And I was like, please don't be noticeable. Please don't be noticeable. But I think it was. And I think she could tell I was nervous too. But it was also because I was working out, as I said. Blood flowing, just really energetic. And I also spoke really fast. I think I spoke really fast, just really, really energetically. And usually when I approach girls, I want to speak less energetically. I want to speak more nonchalant, we'll say, more calm, more confident. But that I was just like all over the place, like, hey, what do you think of this? And yeah, look at this. Yeah. Oh man, my prof sucks. And just like being overly dramatic. But I'll try to work on that. I was really nervous. So I think I did well, regardless. And leg bouncing. Next time I'll just plant both of my feet. And what else can I work on? Yeah, don't repeat the same things because I didn't really emphasize it in the story. I kind of mentioned it, but I didn't explain it or deliver the story in a way that showed that I kept on repeating emphasizing how much my prof was such a nuisance. But I didn't, what I hated about that was it felt like I was complaining. And I didn't want that to be the case. I just wanted that to be an opener. And I wanted to continue talking with her about that. Or just in general, just keep on talking with her. But I couldn't continue the conversation. I couldn't actually make anything from it. And I realized, so because of that, I made a little list on conversations to, you know what? I'll save this for another video. Conversations, what to really talk about. And it's really situational, dependent on the situation, on where you are. But you can generalize some. I mean, you have to be good at thinking on the spot. There's not really much other way. No, you can prep some. There are definitely some you can prep. A lot of the ones that I have involved, some very good ones, good advice would be to prep opinion based questions. So what do you think of I'm blanking. What do you think of damn it. There's so many things you can't touch on though. You can't touch on politics. Music you can maybe touch on. Yeah. you can ask music. So one of the basic ones that I have is like, hey, what do you think of what are you listening to? And she had headphones on, right? And she the other way I could tell she was like engaged was because she took off her headphones and kept on talking with me, even when she was working out. But maybe if she was really interested, she wouldn't have worked out. No, I don't think. I think. I think it was an IOI, so an indication of interest, as the pickup artists say, as Neil Strauss would say. Anyways, already 35.4 minutes, 35 minutes and 50 seconds. So I think that's good to end it. And I'll have another interesting vlog about picking up girls. What?